In the late 1920s, the world felt confident as factories produced more than ever, and new machines promised endless growth while stock markets rose year after year, creating a widespread belief that humanity had finally learned how to control the economy, making progress feel permanent. People borrowed money to invest, encouraged by banks, believing that as long as prices kept rising, borrowing felt safe, and governments observed this expansion with satisfaction, seeing rising markets as a sign of prosperity and stability. As banks began lending aggressively, motivated not by recklessness but by the rewards associated with risk, speculation surged, with regulators noticing the behavior and some warning that the market was showing signs of overheating. Despite the warnings, the central banks opted not to restrict credit, allowing money to remain cheap and loans easy to obtain, leading businesses to expand rapidly and investors to double down on their optimism. The prevailing logic was simple. If something went wrong, it could be dealt with later, but when stock prices eventually began to tumble, leaders faced a critical choice between intervening aggressively or prioritizing the stability of money itself. Ultimately, they chose to maintain stability over rescue, keeping interest rates high and tightening credit, which left banks suddenly finding themselves without cash as one failure triggered another. As fear spread faster than facts, people rushed to withdraw their savings, leading banks to collapse under the pressure, while businesses lost access to credit and factories shut down, resulting in soaring unemployment. Governments responded cautiously, fearing debt, inflation, and a loss of control, leading them to raise taxes and cut spending in an effort to balance budgets amidst the ongoing collapse. While these actions were responsible on paper, in reality they drained demand from an already broken system, transforming what began as a market correction into a global catastrophe. The disaster unfolded not because of one reckless act, but due to a series of many small decisions that reinforced each other, leading to millions losing their jobs and families becoming homeless. As entire industries vanished and global trade collapsed, social unrest began to spread across continents, highlighting the most disturbing aspect of the crisis. No one involved believed they were destroying the system. They thought they were managing it. This pattern of economic collapse illustrates that it rarely stems from stupidity. Rather, it emerges from logic applied too narrowly, where decisions aimed at solving short-term problems can quietly construct long-term disasters. Understanding these historical stories matters because the systems we trust today are built in a similar fashion, through careful planning and reasonable choices that often feel harmless in the moment. However, until those seemingly harmless choices lead to unforeseen consequences, history demonstrates that economic decline does not occur suddenly. It erodes slowly and silently, one reasonable decision at a time. In essence, this narrative serves as a stark reminder that while the consequences may not be immediately visible, the cumulative impact of many small decisions can ultimately lead to a crisis that reshapes lives and economies. As history has shown, the aftermath of an economic collapse forces societies to reevaluate their beliefs about stability and risk, prompting discussions on how to avoid repeating the same patterns. In the wake of economic turmoil, communities often unite to explore new frameworks for understanding financial systems, seeking to establish safeguards against the quiet decisions that can lead to widespread crisis. This journey towards recovery is essential not just for rebuilding what was lost, but also for fostering a more resilient economic landscape that can withstand future challenges and prioritize collective well-being. By investing in education and fostering sustainable practices, communities can empower individuals to make informed decisions that contribute to a more stable and equitable economy in the long run. Ultimately, the path forward lies in recognizing the lessons of history and nurturing a culture of transparency, cooperation, and responsible decision-making to ensure that future economies are built on solid foundations rather than the whims of short-term thinking. In this way, by fostering collaboration and focusing on long-term strategies, communities can break the cycle of repeating past mistakes and create a thriving economy that serves everyone. As local economies regain momentum, initiatives aimed at supporting small businesses and nurturing entrepreneurship become essential, paving the way for a more resilient economic future. Encouraging young minds through experiential learning and entrepreneurship not only equips them with vital skills, but also fosters a culture of innovation that fuels economic growth in the long run.